All right, let's get right into it. If you're building anything with AI right now, you know what I'm talking about. It feels like the ground is constantly shifting under your feet when it comes to coding tools. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise and give you a clear guide on what to use and, more importantly, when.
I mean, you've seen the hype, right? Go on X, go on YouTube. It feels like everybody is talking about jumping ship to these super powerful AI coding agents. Tools that can write and manage really complex code for you. That conversation is just, well, it's everywhere.
And this really gets to the heart of the whole debate, doesn't it? There's this idea that you've got these, vibe coding tools over on one side. They're great for getting started, but maybe they're just toys. And then on the other side, you've got the real AI coding agents, the so-called proper way to build a serious app that actually makes money. But is it really that black and white? Is jumping to a super complex tool always the right move? For some people, yeah, maybe. But for a lot of us, it could actually be a huge mistake. So let's figure out what's really the right path for you. Okay, first things first. We have got to tackle this whole proper versus vibe thing head on, because this idea that one is good and one is bad is, frankly, holding a lot of people back.
The story you hear all the time is that you're supposed to start with a simple vibe tool, but then to really get your app over the finish line, you have to graduate to a proper tool. It creates this kind of false ladder that everyone thinks they need to climb. But here's the thing, that entire way of thinking is just wrong. You can absolutely build, launch, and make money with any of these tools. It all comes down to your approach, not some imaginary hierarchy of what's better. So, if that's the wrong way to think about it, what's the right way? Well, let's introduce a new framework. Instead of looking at a straight line from bad to good, let's think about these tools on a spectrum.
Okay, so our first axis is pretty straightforward. It's technical versus non-technical. On one end, you've got full-on coding environments where you have total control over every single line of code. And on the other end, you have tools where you might not touch the code directly at all. Our second axis is all about flexibility. It's build anything versus build one thing. Some tools are like a massive box of Legos. They give you the power to build literally anything you can dream up. Others are more like a model airplane kit. They're designed to help you build one specific type of thing, like a web app, and do it really, really well. And this is where it all clicks into place. We can actually map these different tools onto this matrix. See? Tools like Lovable land in that non-technical build one thing box. Super focused, easy to use. And then something like Claude Code is way over in the technical build anything corner. Tons of power, tons of flexibility. The key takeaway? It's not about good versus bad. It's about finding the right tool for the specific job you're trying to do. Okay, so to actually use this new framework effectively, you need to know a little bit about what you're building under the hood. So let's quickly break down the core pieces of pretty much any app out there. Right, so to make a smart choice, you've got to know the basics. Every app has a few key parts. You've got the front end, that's the pretty part your users actually see and click on. Then you have the back end, which is like the brain of the operation, doing all the heavy lifting. And of course, the database, which is where everything is stored. Just knowing this helps you ask the most important question. Does my tool handle all this for me, or do I need a tool that lets me control each piece of the puzzle myself? So now that we have this framework, let's talk about why people actually switch tools. Because as you're about to see, a lot of the time, it's for all the wrong reasons. I bet some of these sound familiar, right? I'm getting too many bugs, or this thing just doesn't work. Here's the hard truth. Bugs are a part of building stuff. It doesn't matter what tool you use. Blaming the tool or thinking you have to use what the real developers use, those are just traps. They distract you from what's actually going on. So if those are the wrong reasons to switch, what are the right ones? Because there are definitely good, solid, strategic reasons you might want to move to a more technical tool. You should think about switching when your project genuinely outgrows your tool. For example, maybe you need to build a super complex feature, like real-time collaboration, and your current tool just wasn't built for that. Or maybe you personally just want that deep, granular control over every single line of code. See the difference? These are strategic choices, not just frustrated reactions. And this brings us to the most important point of all. Success isn't about finding the best tool. It's about having the best process. I mean, this quote really says it all. Most of the time when you feel stuck, the problem isn't the tool. It's the process you're using or the framework you're building with. So here's a simple 3-step plan for success. 1. Choose your tools before you even start building, based on what you actually need. 2. Build with a real process. Plan things out, build systematically, test your work. And 3. Before you give up and jump to another tool, learn to fix what you have. Get good at debugging. And really, that's what this all boils down to. There is no single best tool. There's only what works for you and what works for your project. So don't get sucked into the hype. Don't make things more complicated than they need to be. The best tool is whatever gets you from an idea to a finished product in front of paying customers. So the only question left is, what's the right tool for your next big idea?